Welcome to the podcast Living by Oak Values. My name is Robert and I host this podcast with my friend Gary. Join us today as we dive deep and share meaningful stories, discuss values that help shape our lives. We will explore how we use these values to guide us through life, shaping our decisions, our relationships, and raising our kids. We are embracing a journey of personal growth, navigating our own paths. We are committed to living by these values and passing them on to our children. We are thrilled to have you here and can't wait to share our latest episode. Whether you're a long-time listener or just now discovering us, welcome. Check us out at northmancoaching.com. Feel free to introduce yourselves in the comments. You're welcome to join our community, Northman Legacy Crew, and let us know what topics you're most interested in hearing about. Sign up with your email for behind-the-scenes sneak peeks and exciting updates. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. Happy listening.
How are we doing today, brother?
Pretty good.
Very good.
So today we have to learn about commitment.
Commitment. All right. So I'm going to give the listeners a brief rundown on why commitment is a value that is important to have, and then we'll dive deep into it. Are you ready?
All
right. So commitment, it's an important value because it will help you in achieving goals, building trust, assisting in your personal growth, and assisting in your personal success as well, along with building character. So you got building character, success, growth, trust, and achieving goals. They all come with commitment.
And I think it was Neil Strauss that said, without commitment, you can't have depth in anything, whether it is a relationship, a business, or a hobby.
Yeah, I agree 100%. It's like the jack of all trades and master of none.
Yeah.
If there's no commitment, then there's no depth. You can kind of do everything, but can't do anything perfectly.
So getting started in our topics, we're going to start. When did you realize you had to start focusing on commitment?
I will tell you when I first questioned commitment. I thought I was working on it just fine when I got married because we made a commitment together and that didn't work out. So I guess when my ex-wife left me, that's when I really questioned what is the importance of commitment. And then I realized, I think, while doing this work, that the only true commitment that I can honestly make is to myself, because I am the one person that is not going to lie to me. I am the one person that is going to hold myself accountable, and therefore a commitment to myself is a commitment to my future, to my growth, to everything I'm doing. So how about you, Rob? When did you realize that you needed to start working on commitment?
Had a desire that I had to change. I knew who I was in a marriage was not the same person I needed to be. And actually, it was the good guys to great men.
Yes.
And I knew that I wanted to be a great man. And I was like, I had to commit and sign up because I wanted to change who I was. It was good, but also hard because every day I had to wake up and say, I want to be that great man that they keep talking about. Every morning I had to tell myself that. Yeah, it was a lot harder, and I'm still working towards it.
Good.
So,
for you though, right?
For me, yeah.
And that's the ticket. Any work that you do has to be for you. Going
into that, what did commitment mean to you before all this work?
I mean, it means the same now. The meaning behind it, if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. If I say I'll be there at 7:00, I will be there by no later than 7:05.
Yeah.
But if I say I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. And before, it still meant the same. When I joined the military, I made a commitment to do 4 years to serve my country and serve it well, and that I did. I did what I said I was going to do. I didn't make any big commitments after the military, and then until I met my soon-to-be ex-wife, and I made that commitment to her. My commitment to her was that I would be there through thick and thin until death do us part, and that that obviously did not work. But let it be known, I guess, that I didn't break that commitment. Not that I'm keeping score and it matters anymore, but when I make a commitment, I make a commitment. I show up, I do what I say I'm going to do.
Like a man of your word.
Exactly. Yes. So what does it mean to you, sir?
Prior to this work, it probably would have been just a commitment, go to work, 9 to 5 job, you're committed to that job. Very plain Jane, nothing major. But what I've come to realize is that to me, commitment is showing up constantly and maybe not even every day. And it's showing up to see it through.
Is it shown constantly or is it consistently or both?
It's just the fact that you have the guts, to show up and work on it. I mean, you may put it down for a month, but to pick it back up and keep going at it is just as much
Okay.
seeing it through as if you didn't. This house that I got is like a good example of commitment. And when I first got it, I knew it was a good deal, but I had to work my butt off to get it in living conditions. To get all the paperwork to come through, I had to go chase down engineers. I had to go chase down the title man. I had to go chase down the previous tenant. I had to do so much. And if I had just, this is too much work, I give up. I wouldn't be here in this house, in this spot, knowing that I still have more work to do and I'm willing to show up, even though it's not every day, even though it's not constant consistency,
Okay.
but just willing to show up and see it through. I hope that helps.
Yeah, absolutely. What is your desire to be committed?
Well, I'm glad you asked that because I wouldn't have been able to tell you that prior to this work.
Okay.
And through this work, talking to other guys, and especially like listening to Jeff and guys, I have found I wanted to be committed to growth and to be benevolent, especially to my daughter and to my people that I interact with.
Okay.
That's my desire, and that's where I'm keeping my commitment to myself. I have to tell myself every day I'm working to be that benevolent.
Okay.
What about you, brother?
Well, what does benevolent mean for the listeners? It took me forever to get that one. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, that's one. I had gotten it from Jeff, and
Okay.
give me a second.
So the definition of it, Webster's definition of it is marked or disposed to doing good. So
Yes.
being a good man, a great man.
Yes.
Okay.
Essentially, it is being a great man, but it is like I like to think of it as being Jesus-like.
Okay.
Being a Christian, you want to be like Jesus, so you treat everybody, you treat them like you want to be treated, or even better, like how you would treat yourself.
All right.
What about you, brother? What have you committed to lately?
Well, my desire for commitment would be this work, men's work. I've committed myself to my day job, committed myself to making sure that I take care of me every day. I do my breath work, my meditation every day, almost every day. I don't want to lie. I'm not going to lie to myself or to you guys. So almost every day. And I guess my desire behind commitment and keeping these commitments to myself is because this ain't going to be the end of it because this is a sad one a little bit. I haven't had anybody ever commit anything to me that I can think of. I mean, my parents, they committed to being parents. But in my adult life, nobody's committed anything to me. I'm not asking for it either. Like, that's my job to make commitments, my job to fill my cup. And I make my own commitments because I know that if I break that commitment, it's only me hurting me.
Kind of awkward on me when you said nobody committed to me.
I don't want to be awkward. No one has committed to me.
But is that not what marriage is?
But she broke the commitment.
But she's still committed to you.
For what, a couple years?
Okay. So going into the next portion is what would be the consequence for not keeping your commitment?
So if it's the commitment that I make to myself for working out and breath work or whatever, the consequences is if I don't do my breath work or my meditation every day, the days I skip, I definitely can feel it. I have a worse day. I'm not as relaxed or in tune. Mm-hmm. So the punishment for me breaking that commitment to myself is a shitty day.
There are potential dangers of not honoring your commitment. And right. I've noticed a lot of it with the guys is that it erodes trust in women. To break that commitment of marriage, it erodes their trust.
It would erode the trust in both sides.
It does.
If a man initiates the divorce, then the women's trust is eroded. But if the man is initiating it, his trust for her has already eroded.
Correct.
And it's the same the other way around.
Yes.
I don't think anybody asks for a divorce without having trust being damaged at some point. So what action are you going to keep or are you going to do to make sure that you stay committed to things?
A couple of things. I realized how important it is to meet with other men and constantly have meeting with fellow men who aren't even close to me that I can bounce off ideas, share. So going to these meetings for the weekend and getting away, there's a term for going out and meeting with the men.
Retreats.
Going to these men retreats is very important. And like the one that I love to go to in Idaho, Redemption Rock, you can just sit up on top of that mountain and just appreciate what God created. Like one guy said, it's a pilgrimage, and it's a pilgrimage that I need to I need to commit to keep going yearly because it keeps me healthy. So by going and committed to going, and when they say, "Hey, we need people to come," you can't back down at the last minute unless something major happens. So I noticed that being committed and staying committed, it requires like small, consistent actions. And it helps you be a little bit more disciplined and focused. And one of the major things I noticed was like to set clear goals.
Okay. Definitely goals are needed for a commitment. I mean, you think about first commitment you've ever made or your first big one to your ex-wife. Was there not a goal in mind or a plan? There was, right? I can't remember my plan. I think it was, I don't know, stay married forever. I don't know. But now my goals, my commitments that I have goals in mind with those commitments. So like the breath work and meditation, the goal is to have a wonderful day. The goal is to be more in tune with myself and with everything around me. Or meet those goals, I have to keep that commitment.
You hit on a point.
Okay.
When you got married, that was your goal. And that was mine too. I achieved that goal, but what I didn't do was set another goal or create another measurable, attainable goal.
But I made my goal by getting married, and my next goal was not measurable. It was be married forever.
Yes.
I wanted to be like my parents. My parents are celebrating 50 years next month, September. I don't know when this is going to air.
Congratulations to them.
September. That was what I wanted, 50 years, 100 years. Well, that's a long time, but I had just imagined, long before I met my ex-wife, whoever that person was going to be, that we would, have fun and have kids, and I would leave a legacy of some sort. Couldn't say what the legacy was. In the end, we would be, on some rocking chair porch, everything hurting, and that's it. Eventually we die. So, but that is not a measurable goal.
No.
To say forever, that's not measurable. I guess you could measure forever if you know you're dying soon.
Yeah.
But, my goals are daily goals. I want tomorrow to be a good day, so I'm going to meditate and do my breath work.
There you go. You popped up another one. To me, it was like daily routines, things that I can do daily that help me so that I can actually, like, instead of saying, go walk 15 miles, if I can walk 1 mile a day, that helps me get off. And then I can do 2 miles next week, 3 miles next week. Or I schedule a time for walking so that I have time for other things throughout the day. And so having that daily schedule or daily task, that it helps you build those habits.
You get better at it as you do it more. Recently, we just started the 1776 push-ups for July, and I was doing 2 sets of 30 push-ups every day. 1 set in the morning and 1 set at night to get my 60 in. At 60 a day, I would hit just over 1776. Now I wake up and I'm knocking out 60. Actually, this morning I knocked out 78. So it's just in one shot. Like, it's getting easier. So my short goal right now is that if I hit 1776 before Wednesday, which I will actually hit it tomorrow, then I could take the last 2 days of July off.
You hit the next point. Prioritizing task. Prioritizing what's important and what is not important.
Right. And without goals, you can't prioritize a task.
And sometimes I have to stop watching TV, put it down, and say, it is time for me to go walking right now in the middle of the heat Sometimes it's hard, sometimes it's easy because I'm in repetition. But in order to find time, sometimes you have to minimize your distractions. It'll help you
That
stay
is
focused.
that's very difficult for a guy like me. I've got
Mm-hmm.
ADD, and I see a lot of shiny squirrels constantly running across the street. It's crazy. But yes, I do minimize my distractions by journaling. In my journal, I put my goals, I write them down every day so
Mm.
that when I'm distracted, I can look at my journal and I know, oh, wait, all right, I can be distracted for 5 seconds or 5 minutes right now. I'm going to do this next thing in 2 minutes or whatever. And that helps me minimize, or yeah, I guess it doesn't minimize the distractions, but it helps me control myself to do what I need to do and still allow myself to wander off and look at the shiny squirrels, you know?
By journaling, you're reflecting on your day.
Mm-hmm.
And so I take time, especially in the morning and or while I'm driving to work, I take time to reflect on my progress. And at nighttime, normally when I log my stuff into the little thing, having that time to reflect helps you keep your commitments.
I don't journal at night. I reflect in the morning a little bit, but I set goals in the morning all day long. I'm not, I write in it if I need to, but I go back and I look at what I have to get done, and I reflect in the morning though on my
Mm,
past day or previous day and previous year or whatever time frame I want to look back on.
mm.
But I think I go hard till the end. I mean, you've seen me before. We're doing podcasts or work, and next thing I'm like, I got to go to bed, and I'm
Yep.
out.
Uh,
The minute I feel it, it's like, well, see you later.
on another one is be kind to yourself. So when you are tired, realize it, take time and go to bed. You need to practice self compassion. You can't be committed to something and at the same time so overworked you can't do the job properly.
But I totally get that. If you are overworked, you don't get the job done properly.
Yep.
I mean, there are many times when I work too much on my day job that I can't come home and record a podcast. I know that I cannot do it. And I tell you, I told you last week, I cannot do it today. I worked late, it was hot, and I worked too much on this one thing, and I have nothing left in me. And you've also seen me not tell you. And what is the quality of the work that comes out when I am overworked?
Yeah.
Shoddy work. It's bad for
It
quality.
is. It is. Well, even the other night, we were both kind of like not into it. And we were like, well, let's take tonight off and do it another day. The podcast just wasn't going to get done because plumbing issues in the house. And what did I have going on that I was just like, no,
Your cat.
yeah, the cat died. Oh, yeah, that's right. So, yeah, us to have a little self compassion. One of the final things is small steps. Don't think commitment can be done overnight sometimes. It takes small steps to build a habit of commitment.
Along with the small steps, though, don't forget, visualizing the success.
Yeah.
If you see that end game, you can't make that your measurable time, but if you could see the end game or what you desire, it will help you get there. If you don't know what you're looking for, you're never going to find it.
Give the viewers an example of how you do that.
Visualize success. Well, when I'm meditating and I clear my head, I visualize a great day. I visualize, getting my job done on time, get it done right. Or if we're doing this work, then I visualize me being a very successful coach someday. But I have to see it to believe it, see it to make it happen. You could send someone down the street to get something, but if they don't know what they're going to get, they're just going to keep walking down the street. They're not going to come back. They're not going to get what they want to get or supposed to get because they don't have a vision. How do you vision your successes or your success?
I didn't go walking and work really hard at first to envision myself losing weight. I did it for another reason. Losing weight was a byproduct. So when I started losing weight, well, it was to clear my mind, to make myself healthier, to find another hobby instead of sitting in the house being depressed. But a byproduct was that I started losing weight. After I started losing weight, but to visually go and say, I want to lose weight, I fail to lose weight, but then I constantly go up and down like a seismic graph, I guess.
You couldn't say yo-yo or something easy? Seesaw, maybe? I don't know.
Anyways, I go up and
How
down.
about the seismograph? Okay. Not the xylophone or anything like that. The seismograph.
It's very hard to visualize success when you're constantly bouncing around like a seismograph on an earthquake Richter scale kind of deal. It is just so hard. So what I rather not visualize success. I'd rather just keep walking, knowing that one day it may or may not happen.
So if you're not visualizing the success,
Mm-hmm.
but you are setting these goals,
Yes.
when you set the goal, you don't see the end result in your head somewhere.
Nope.
For me, that just comes naturally. The minute I set this goal, boom, there's a possible end result that I would like to obtain.
In some cases, but I'm just saying in the case of losing weight, that I do not visualize success.
It makes sense, but I also want to make it clear that to myself and to the listeners, like, you don't want to focus on the end result. You want to focus on the progress. You do.
Yeah.
But it's good for me. It is good to have a vision just to see it.
Yeah.
That's going to be me in 5 years because I'm doing what I'm doing right now.
Remember, actually, it was a year ago, I bought that old truck. I didn't necessarily visualize success. 3 years ago, I wrote a letter to one of the coaches, and I said, one of the things I want in the future is a beautiful classic truck that I can drive. And lo and behold, I had visualized it 3 years ago, and it came to fruition this past year. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it happened that way. Even though I didn't commit to doing much to it, I did commit to saving money when the time come.
I got you. Nothing to do with commitment, but like what you just said, though, like putting it out there in the universe did not just bring it to you. You have to, if you're going to throw things in the universe that you would like to happen to you, you need to work for them as well. The universe is most likely not going to just do everything you want it to do. So while I'm doing meditation stuff, my intention to have a great day. And I actually say that. I do a little mantra thing or chant, whatever you want to call it. But if you say, I don't want a bad day, that can be misinterpreted by the universe, and you might be getting yourself a bad day.
And so when I got this truck, one of the things I did was I told myself, I'm going to enjoy driving this truck to work and back. Commitment in some shape or form. I wrote on the truck joy in permanent marker. I was like, when I'm in this truck, I'm in joy.
I like that. That's good.
Yeah.
You just named her Joy.
That's what I did. The truck is joy.
I didn't say, did you say you named it?
I wrote on the outside, yeah, joy.
You didn't say you named it. Okay.
That's the name of the truck is joy.
Got it.
Yeah.
Now I get it.
So when I'm driving down the road, I'm enjoying the ride.
Got it.
And for all the listeners out there, if you would like to go further or deeper on this topic of commitment, reach out to us. We want to know you and hear your powerful story. You can chat with us or connect with us by booking your free session on our website, northmancoaching.com. And folks, that's a wrap on today's episode. And of course, thank you all out there for listening. We're so glad you could join us today. If you enjoyed today's episode, please don't forget to subscribe to our podcast, Living by Oak Values. And if you feel generous, leave us a review. It really helps us out and keeps these conversations going. For more updates and exclusive content, follow us on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, or visit our website, northmancoaching.com. We'll be back next week with another exciting episode that you don't want to miss. Until then, keep discussing your values, embracing the journey, take care, and stay authentic.